2 iconic franchises, 13 World Series titles, 22 league championships. They meet tonight for just the 3rd time in Cincinnati. This year, the Red Sox are having one of the worst seasons for a defending champion, while the Reds have 44 games left to make a push for their 4th playoff appearance in the last 5 years. It's interleague action next from GABP, right here on Fox Sports Ohio. And welcome to T-Mobile Tuesday Night Baseball. Tonight from Great American Ballpark in downtown Cincinnati, Ohio. It's the first of a 2-game series. The Reds and the Boston Red Sox. Interleague play continues for this Cincinnati club. And hi, and a pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to Reds baseball. Jim Kelch along with the Cowboy Jeff Brantley. Well, Jeff, this is a different Boston team, certainly, than the Reds saw back in May when they went out to Fenway Park and played a couple of games. At the trading deadline, they get rid of most of their starting pitching, but they gain a tremendous left fielder.
Yeah, there were a lot of talk in Boston about the lack of offense. And with that big green monster, you like to have right-handed hitters in your lineup. They went out, got Yoenis Cespedes, they got Alan Craig, who's on the disabled list. But I think when you look at Cespedes and you see what he brings to the lineup, just that power threat, the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark, they slot him in right behind David Ortiz, the big bopper. You've got Pedroia, then you've got Ortiz, and you've got Cespedes. This is the most power that the Red Sox have had in the lineup all year.
Now we switch gears and talk about pitching. The man on the mound for the Red Sox tonight, a fellow that the Reds are familiar with, another trade acquisition, Joe Kelly.
I can only imagine what Joe Kelly was feeling getting traded to the Red Sox from the Cardinals and then having to go back to St. Louis to make his first start as a Red Sox. Got to be a lot of pressure. Once you're past that, pitching against your old team, everything from then on out is gravy. And what's so amazing about it is his first 2 starts as an American leaguer are against National League Central clubs.
That means he batted in the Cardinal game, and he'll bat here tonight at Great American Ballpark. For Cincinnati, he's won his last 2 starts, Matt Latos.
Well, he has really made a transition from being the power pitcher, the 95-mile-an-hour guy, to pitching around 90, 92. He's been able to change speeds. The strikeout numbers are down for Matt, but the earned run numbers are even better. The pitches per inning, even better for Matt Latos. He is making the transition, and hopefully that will help him as time goes on. When you don't have your best stuff, he's still pitching great.
All right, tonight the first of a 2-game series at Great American, the Reds and the Red Sox. We'll take a break. When we come back, Johnny Cueto, a winning combination. He was a stopper on Sunday, getting the Reds a victory. Jim Day will have more on Johnny C when we come back.
to you by your local Ford dealer. Ford, go further. By Cincinnati USA Regional Tourism Network. Stay close to CincinnatiUSA.com. And by Skyline Chili. Feeling good? It's Skyline time.
Oh, my goodness, the Boston Red Sox and the Cincinnati Reds, two franchises rich in history. I'm convinced when a player puts a Reds jersey on or a Red Sox jersey on, their blood gets richer. Their heart becomes bigger with the yearn to win. Their muscles get bigger. They can jump higher and run faster. Should be a pretty good game. Weather's not too bad either. Slight chance of a sprinkle early on. Temperatures falling into the 60s. I think folks are going to like the weather down there. Give it to me. Oh, nice shot to center. Enjoy the game on Fox Sports Ohio. Ooh.
I'm Jim Day on the field. Definitely digging the temperatures tonight. Reds, the backbone of this team, continues to be starting pitching, and an honor bestowed upon a Red today. It's our T-Mobile game changer, and Johnny Cueto has certainly been that, a game changer, named your National League Player of the Week. Went 2-0 last week in his 2 starts. As you look at the numbers, Major League high, 17 innings pitched, struck out 15 batters. A week ago, his 4th complete game of the season. It's the first weekly honor for Cueto, and the second for the Reds this season, as Aroldis Chapman was the National League Player of the Week July 7th through July 13th. So congratulations to Johnny Cueto, your T-Mobile game changer. Tonight, though, Matt Latos gets the ball. A rare visit from the boys from Beantown. A rematch of the 75 World Series. Jim and the Cowboy are next with Reds baseball.
For the first game of this 2-game series, the Reds and the Boston Red Sox, and certainly the Reds have some payback for this club. They lost a couple of 4-3 games back in May out at Fenway. Reds, as far as the National League Central are concerned, still in 4th place, 5.5 games behind the front-running Milwaukee Brewers. Still a little bit of work to do right there, and hopefully they can start that process tonight. They start 60 wins, 58 losses on the year. John Farrell is the manager of the Red Sox. He's a former pitching coach here. In fact, he was a pitching coach with this ball club when they won the World Series back in 2007. He also managed the Toronto Blue Jays for a couple of years. Came over here last year. What did he do in his first year as a Red Sox skipper? He won the World Series over the St. Louis Cardinals. Here's their lineup tonight, put forth by Meyer, For the Red Sox, they line up like this. The former Pirate Brock Holt at the top. Then Dustin Pedroia. Pretty good numbers against the Reds in his career. David Ortiz in the 3 spot. The newest Red Sox, Yoenis Cespedes in the 4 hole. Daniel Nava, Xander Bogaerts, pardon me. Then Christian Vasquez is the catcher. Will Middlebrooks is the 3rd, batting 8th. And Joe Kelly, the former Cardinal, pitches and bats 9th. On the mound for the Reds, making start 11 is Matt Latos.
We'll watch Latos tonight move the ball around, curveball, changeup, fastball. It's amazing what he's been able to do, even with the velocity down. I mean, this is a guy that threw 95 consistently last year. Velocity down because of the injury and having to rush back elbow and right knee. You wouldn't know it by the number.
We'll get into the strikeout numbers of Latos, which is certainly different this year than they've been in the last couple of years as we move along here tonight. Brock Holt leads it off. First pitch of the game is in there for a called strike. And we are underway here at Great American Ballpark. Game time temperature 70 degrees in downtown Cincinnati. Holt to be followed by Pedroia, then David Ortiz. Holt starts the game at .295 with 3 home runs. He's driven in 23. Playing in center field tonight. You never know about this guy. He has played
everywhere.
Everywhere. Exactly right. Other than pitcher and catcher, he has made starts at every other position. All the infield spots, all the outfield spots for John Farrell's team this year.
I think it goes to show you there's a lot to be made about the term prospect. Archie Bradley was supposed to be the guy that arrived here first for the Red Sox and playing center field. This guy's made a name for himself in a hurry.
Jackie Bradley, he's flat out just not hitting.
Jackie, I called him Archie. I apologize.
Some of the Boston folks we talked to said this guy can play center field like no other, but he's simply not hitting. They need some offense.
Yes, they do. Hence the trade of most of their rotation.
Yeah, their starting 5 in terms of their pitching rotation from the beginning of the year to now has one common name. And that name is Clay Buchholz. Everybody else has been traded away. John Lester traded. John Lackey traded. Philip Dubron traded. Jake Peavy gone via trade. Here's what we're talking about now. A list of opening rotation for the Red Sox, first 5 games of the year, and what their rotation looks like today.
That's pretty amazing right there.
Ruby De La Rosa, Alan Webster, Anthony Renato, who will pitch here tomorrow. Those names are unrecognizable, really, around the baseball world. To his left, knocking that ball down and making the play is Ramon Santiago, and a good start for the Reds. Santiago throws out Brock Holt.
Kid hit this ball pretty hard and still made it a close play at first base. He's got a little speed now.
So the batter will be Dustin Pedroia, second baseman.
These first two batters for Latos will be key tonight. That man standing on deck can hit it a long way.
Yeah, you talked in the open about Ortiz batting in front of Cespedes. That gives them a great 3-4 combo right there.
Right, left, right. Pedroia, Ortiz, and Cespedes.
282 the average for Pedroia at the beginning of this one. 5 home runs. He's driven in 43, and he gets a base hit into right. Gives him a 5-game hitting streak, and he's the first base runner of this game. Take a look at the Reds' defensive alignment. Behind Matt Latos, brought to you by your Ford dealers. In the outfield, they line up like this. Heisey gets the start in left. Hamilton, after having an off day Sunday, back in there today. Then Bruce in right. Frazier, Cozart, Santiago, and Pena third to first. Latos caught tonight by Devin Mesoraco. Good to see Brian Pena, Cowboy, back in there.
Let's just hope that hamstring can hold up for 9.
How about him coming in the last 2 games of the Miami series off the bench and getting base hits? and then needing to be lifted for a pinch runner, but keeping that hitting streak alive in pinch hit appearances 2 times in a row.
Not that easy.
Here is clearly the face of this Boston franchise. Even before all the trades that they made, Big Papi David Ortiz is clearly the face of the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, and he has a unique swing. You watch his hands as the ball's coming to the plate. He drops them almost to his hip. A lot of folks would call that a hitch. For him, it's a timing mechanism.
Rips that ball by Santiago and into right field. A base hit. Stopping at second is Pedroia. David Ortiz, at 38 years old, continues to hit the ball hard. One of the top power hitters in the American League in terms of home runs and RBIs, and he's aboard.
Check out those hands go down, knee comes up, and bat crushes ball.
He's getting a start at first base tonight. He's only made, what, a handful of starts at first base this year. He's been there every day DH, but he's starting tonight at first, of course, because they're in the National League ballpark. Here's the latest acquisition now by this Boston club, Yoenis Cespedes, the former Oakland Athletic. He was with the Oakland club last year when they came in here, so he is somewhat, I guess, familiar with this part.
Yeah, I think when you look at Cespedes, you wouldn't think power hitter. I mean, he's not a guy that's huge in stature, but he is tremendously strong in the upper body. He can take pitches that are middle away and hook them out of the ballpark. And I would imagine if you're upper management in Boston with that short wall in left field, a guy that can hook the ball even on a power fastball away can do some damage in that part.
He came over in the July 31st trade with the Oakland Athletics. John Lester going to Oakland. Johnny Gomes and Cespedes. Johnny Gomes went back to his old ball club in Oakland, and Cespedes comes here. He got in on him there, and he pops it up. Infield fly rule is called. Cespedes is the second out.
It's really how you have to pitch most power hitters. Right in on their hands. They want to get extended. They want to be able to get that barrel to the ball and really get some lift and some drive out over the plate.
2 on 2 out. The batter will be Daniel Nava. This Boston club comes into Cincinnati, third leg of a 3-city road trip. They lost 2 of 3 at St. Louis. They took 2 of 3, including a win on Sunday against the Angels out in Anaheim, winning that game 3-1. And they, like the Reds, enjoyed the off day yesterday. 2-game series here closes out their trip.
Yeah, you look at this Boston lineup and you see Pedroia, Ortiz, and Cespedes, all names that you would recognize. After that, a lot of kids trying to make their way. And that's not normally what you see in a Boston Red Sox lineup.
No, they don't generally go that route. This is the problem they had, 2 years ago, I guess, under Bobby Valentine. They won only 69 games that year. Bobby was fired after the one season. They brought John Farrell in, and last year they go from 69 wins to 97 wins and winning their 3rd World Series title in 10 years. So they go 84 years, Cowboy, without winning a World Series. 84-year span, no World Series titles. They win it in 04, they win it in 07, and they win it again last year. 3 in 10 years. Something we'd like to see here in Cincinnati. 3 in 10 years.
Amen, brother.
Nava, a switch hitter, batting left-handed.
You know, the one thing about this Boston lineup playing in a National League park, instead of having Napoli and Ortiz in the lineup at the same time, one of them in the designated hitter spot, one of them's got to sit tonight. and it just happens to be Mike Napoli.
And Napoli no longer doing any catching for this club. They had A.J. Przinsky signed in the offseason as a free agent. That just did not work out at all. They released him. Here Nava takes a called third strike, and so the Red Sox waste 2 first-inning singles against Matt Latos. Short 2-game series, a finale tomorrow afternoon at 12:35. Brian Price's club looking for its 61st win of the year. And here's a lineup that he puts forth this evening, brought to you by Meyer. Hamilton back in there after having the day off Sunday. Bruce and Frazier the top 3. Mesoraco, Pena, and Heisey. Brian Pena with a 13-game hitting streak coming into action tonight. Santiago gets the start at second. Cozart at short. Latos bats ninth and does the pitching against the former Cardinal, current Red Sox player, right-hander Joe Kelly on the mound.
Well, the Reds have seen Kelly through the years. He's really only made 1 start against the Reds. Pitched pretty well. But like Latos, he's had injury issues. His was lower body and the hamstring. He's only making his 9th overall start. And between the two, 11th start here tonight for Latos, 9th start overall for Kelly. 20 starts, and most of the other guys, they have that individual.
Yeah, he spent over 2 months on the DL earlier this year as a Cardinal with that hamstring issue that Cowboy is talking about. You also mentioned, and it bears repeating, as Hamilton steps in to lead things off, he got over probably the toughest hurdle of all that first time out with Boston at St. Louis.
That's the most difficult thing. Once you're traded or you change teams, having to face your old ball club and guys that you pretty much spent your life with during the time you were there.
Well, you wonder, too, if it was even a little bit more comforting for him in that he was at least pitching on the mound and in a stadium that he was comfortable in. In that game, he went 7, allowed 1 run, 3 hits against his old team, the Cardinals. In a 2-1 victory. He wasn't involved in the decision, but Boston won that game.
I would imagine that the butterflies going into that ball game for Joe Kelly were at their flutteriest. Is that a word?
Well, it is now. Hamilton draws the walk. Good start for the Reds here in the bottom of the first. How about the Red Sox defensively? Brought to you by your 4 dealers. Cespedes, Holt, and Nava across the outfield. Middlebrooks, Bogarts, Pedroia, and Ortiz third to first. Kelly caught by Christian Vasquez. Another situation, catching-wise, that we'll talk about as this game unfolds here on this Tuesday evening. Bruce bats with a runner aboard. Funny that Joe Kelly gets his first 2 starts as an American leaguer against the Cardinals in a ballpark that he's familiar with, and against a Reds team that he's familiar with in a park that he's been in before as well. Jay at 223 with a dozen home runs. He's driven in 46. Now Kelly misses on another one, and that means a visit from Vasquez to the mound. Ortiz will come in. Pedroia will come in. Bogarts will come in. And yes, Middlebrooks comes in as well. Big early conference of Red Sox on the hill.
Come on, big fella. You're all right. Don't worry about these Reds. Just throw it in there. We'll catch it.
Joe Kelly, 26 years old, a native of Anaheim, California, pitched collegiately at UC Riverside. Third round pick by the Cardinals back in 2009. Hamilton held at first by Ortiz. Reds second in the National League in stolen bases as a team with 95. Boston this year, they have thrown out only 20 would-be base stealers, the fourth worst in the American League. So a little comparison there. Ball three.
Kelly right now really having a tough time with the fastball. Everything is coming out to his arm side, which is away from the left-handers. A lot of that has to do with adrenaline. That heart starts pumping, that front shoulder comes out, the hand gets flat, and the ball just runs away.
Hamilton on the move. The pitcher called strike. The throw bounces away and on into center field. Hamilton gets up. He'll end up at third. That's a stolen base for Billy. That is number 44 for him. It's an error on the catcher Vasquez. 90 feet away with nobody out. First run of this game for the Reds.
Hamilton didn't get the greatest of jumps. He can make up for a bad jump with that speed pretty much any time.
Bruce gets a look here to 3-1 pitch now. Breaking ball to strikes is Jordan Baker, our home plate umpire. Full count.
Red Sox do not shift the shortstop around to the right field side of second base with Bruce at the plate.
So many more options right now, Cowboy, with a runner at third and nobody out to get that run home. Jay does not have to come through with the clutch hit here.
Well, you can see the Red Sox are playing the infield back. I mean, across the board. I think Pedroia is in the grass in right field. With that being said, a ground ball pretty much anywhere, you're going to get Hamilton home, but you got to make contact.
Close, but ball four, and Jay draws the walk. Kelly did walk four in that game at St. Louis in his Red Sox debut 5 days ago.
That's an awfully close pitch to take. Trying to run that fastball. Started under the hands of Bruce and paralyzed him to run it back over the inside corner. Just didn't quite get there.
So now it's Frazier with one on, runners at the first and third with nobody out.
And even with Frazier there, you can see that fastball missing inside to the righty, just like it was to the first two lefties. Sometimes when you're missing inside like that, Jim, it actually would benefit you to throw a couple of breaking balls and make sure you finish and you get it out in front. Then you can retrain your eyes and your hand to get that fastball away from your arm side.
Well, Frazier here trying to add to his 62 RBI total against the right-hander Joe Kelly. Trying to avoid that double play ball. Todd in the series against Miami, 4 hits, couple of RBIs. Jeff talked about that start that Kelly made against the Reds a little less than a year ago, late August of last year at St. Louis. He pitched very well, a lot of run in 6 innings in a 6-1 St. Louis win. This is only the 2nd time he's ever started, 4th time he's appeared against the Reds. Boy, another close pitch right there. Taken by a Reds hitter. This time it's Frazier getting the benefit of the doubt from Jordan Baker. 2-2.
Changeup.
Todd Frazier right near the top of the list. Most RBIs in the National League at home. Giancarlo Stanton with 54. He had a big day again yesterday. Stanton did a couple of home runs. Beat the Cardinals down in Miami. And here you have Kelly, Cowboy. He's gone 3 balls on each of the first 3 hitters.
And you wonder, is it where Vasquez is setting up? Is it a little bit different target for Joe Kelly? I mean, he's working with a catcher, you know, for the first time. Makes it a little more difficult.
In the hole, in the left. Base hit Frazier. Hamilton scores. Bruce stops at second. Reds strike first. They take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of number 1.
Now, folks, that's an RBI swing right there. Because that ball was outside. It was off the plate. Frazier stayed right with it. You can see him extend the arm, get the bat to the baseball. It's a changeup. Look how far this ball is outside. And Frazier gets to it and hooks it in the hole. Now, there are a lot of hitters that would just let that ball pass, take the walk. Frazier wants the RBI, and he got it.
Number 63 for him, as you see Billy Hamilton crossing the plate. Batter now is Mesoraco. Hamilton walked to start the Reds' first inning. It's the 8th time this year that he's walked to lead off the game, and the 6th time, 6 times in 8, that he has come around to score. Here's Mesoraco. What a big day he had on Sunday. His 3rd grand slam of the year. New career high with 6 RBIs in that game against the Marlins. He comes in at 293 with 20 homers. He's driven in 61.
Home runs this year. Last year he was getting to play once or twice every 7 or 8 days.
Now, the Reds took some chances this offseason. One with a fellow who led off the game, Hamilton. Another one with this guy, Mesoraco. Here's what he did against the Marlins on Sunday. That was a 2-run shot early against Brad Hand in the bottom of the 1st. And then this one drove Hand out of the game in the 5th. 3rd grand slam of the year, 4th of his career. That made it 7-2. That turned out to be the final.
Hand had to be wondering after that 2nd home run, well, where do you pitch this guy? I go away, he hits it dead center. I come in, he hits it out of the left field for a grand slam.
That got some strength, doesn't it?
Big time.
Time called, and Kelly and Vasquez will get together. 20 home runs, by the way, the most amongst all major league catchers. Hit by Devin Mesoraco.
Well, for me, it's not just the 20 home runs. I mean, that shows you he's got a tremendous amount of power. The kid's hitting 293. It's not. He's not just one-dimensional. It's not just all or nothing.
Lined into center. Base hit Mesoraco. Bruce is going to be waved around on the arm of Holt. Throw is offline. Jay stands and scores. Stopping at second is Frazier. RBI single Mesoraco gets him his 62nd. 2-0 Reds.
Take what the pitcher gives you. Ball's down and away. And instead of trying to jerk it out of the ballpark, he just lines it right back up the box.
So a walk, a hit, 2-0 Reds, 2 on, still nobody out. And the batter is Brian Pena. Batting from the left side, he rolls one toward the middle of the diamond. Pedroia at second out, Ortiz at first out. And a 6-4-3 double play hit into by Brian Pena. Frazier ends up at third. That made doubly tough with Pena hitting the ball on the ground.
Those are the types of plays that you worry about a little bit with Brian Pena because of just his mentality. He's not going to pull up. He's not going to take it easy on the leg. And you could see him really forcing it down the line, knowing that it was probably going to be a double play, and he's still trying to beat it out.
So Heisey has a chance with a runner at third and 2 out.
Heisey can hit that ball middle in a long way. And here in the first inning, that's where Joe Kelly has been missing.
Kelly is pushing 30 pitches in this first inning. Number 26 right there made it 1-1.
Three straight breaking balls. 2 curveballs and then that hard slider down and away.
It'll be nice to get that third run home, wouldn't it?
Oh. Four. As a pitcher, you throw the curveball early. You know the hitter doesn't want to swing it. It starts up and out of the zone, and then you try to break it in. Then you go to the slider, which looks harder. It looks flatter coming out of your hand. Hitter thinks it's a fastball.
Still another 3-ball count now from Kelly. This one to Chris Heisey. The runner at third, 2 out, 2 in. 2-0 Reds here in the bottom of the first.
He's thrown him 5 in a row, breaking balls. And I imagine he's going to see a 6th one here.
This is pitch number 30 of the inning. Heisey wasted. Stays alive. He threw 91 pitches. Pardon me, 97 pitches in 7 innings at St. Louis. His first start with Boston. He's thrown 30, and he's not yet through the first inning here tonight. Strike 3 call. Jordan Baker rings up Heisey, who thought that pitch was low, but the Reds get a couple in the bottom of the first and take the early lead over the Red Sox. 500 Elk, Ohio. How about the worst record the year after winning the World Series? Currently the Miami Marlins, then the Florida Marlins hold the record for that, a .333 winning percentage in '98 after winning the World Series in '97. The Reds are in there, but that Red Sox team, they're probably not going to catch the Marlins. That's a list you don't want to be on.
No.
John Farrell will send up Xander Bogaerts to lead things off, then Christian Vasquez, then Will Middlebrooks. 6, 7, 8 in his batting order here in the top of number 2. Bogaerts, a young man who played a lot in the World Series last year at third base.
Did pretty well.
This year he's hitting .230 with 8 home runs, though he has not had a very good road trip. Only 2 hits and 23 at bats. This is a Boston team, second worst batting average in the American League at .242. They've just not been able to generate the offense they thought they were going to be able to get. Here's what we're talking about in terms of where they stand in the American League rankings, Cowboy.
It's one thing for young players. You get a chance at the big leagues. It's easy to redline that adrenaline for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, maybe even a month. When you've got 162 that you've got to play, sooner or later you got to figure out how to hit, how to play when you don't feel good and when you're tired. That's what we were talking about with Latos. He's been able to figure it out. He's been able to pitch without his best stuff. Easier said than done.
Mesoraco off with a mask. He'll have a play right over near the Reds on deck circle, and he handles it, and Bogaerts is retired. Well, it's interesting the way things have turned for this Red Sox team. When these two teams got together in mid-May, they really had almost the same record, right near the 500 mark, but this team really turned when they lost 10 in a row not long after that.
It really wasn't as though they were pitching that bad. They just couldn't score any runs. At AL East, if you don't score at least 3 or 4 a game, you're in big trouble.
There's some hitting ballparks in that league, and there's some teams that load up. We saw one of them earlier this year, Toronto, in here. We saw another one out in New York, the Yankees.
We saw Toronto up close and personal.
In fact, very early we saw Tampa Bay here in town. This is Christian Vasquez. He basically took over the catching duties on this club when A.J. Pierzynski was released in the middle of July. For the big league club, hitting .227. He was hitting in the high 270s at AAA Pawtucket this year. He's going to be thrown out by Santiago. First 2 retired by Latos here in inning number 2.
Not only did the Red Sox lose Pierzynski, they lost the former Red who was their backup catcher, David Ross. He's on the disabled list as well.
Yeah, he's got some plantar fasciitis going on in his right foot. He's been on the DL now for almost 2 weeks. Well, no team, though, can come in here and talk injuries and say how it has affected them and expect the Reds to feel bad for them, because they've had their own big-time share of injuries this year. And yet, to their credit, Cowboy, here they are, 2 games over 500 and still very much in the mix in the NL Central and in the National League wild card.
That's all you can ask for. Continue to grind it out. Keep yourself close. When you get to September, you're playing pretty much all interdivision opponents. You've got a chance to make up ground.
Yeah. Take a look at the schedule. After September the 7th, starting the final little over 3 weeks, you have all National League Central opponents. You have the Cardinals, the Brewers, the Cubs, the Cardinals, the Brewers, the Pirates to close things out. So you'll have your chance.
That's the way you want it.
To beat the teams that you need to beat.
Gets down to the stretch run. You want to be able to play the clubs that are in your division. especially if you're the club that's trying to play catch up as the Reds are.
And there's been only one team within the division, and you can make the argument that that's a vastly different team than
Cardinals.
when the Reds last saw them, the Cardinals. They're the only team other than Milwaukee recently that had beaten the Reds in a series within the Central Division. Lato's looking for a perfect inning here. He's at 2-2 to Will Middlebrooks. Got it. Strikeout number 2 for Latos on a big curveball. And the Red Sox go in order in the top of the second.
You heard Jim and the Cowboy talk about the Reds injuries and how, well, they're not going to feel sorry for anyone that comes in here injured. Good news on the injury front. Take a look at the video. Brandon Phillips continues to be ahead of schedule, coming back from surgery on the thumb. And today we saw him in the cage for the first time. He's been taking batting practice inside in the cage, but this is the first time he's taken an outside with the team. Came through it with no problems. There you see him in the field. Vintage Phillips looking good. And by the way, they expect him to go on a rehab assignment in time before the end of the minor league season. Most of the minor league seasons end at the end of this month, and he should be in a minor league assignment before then. Good news for Cincinnati.
Thank you, Jim. So we're talking about 7 to 10 days or so. If you're looking at that last week of the minor league season, potentially him going out, that is great news indeed.
It really is, and it's surprising that Paul Lessard and the training staff said that they were more concerned about fielding for Brandon Phillips affecting the thumb than hitting. And you would think it would be exactly the opposite. The rolling over of that left hand, especially with it being the bottom hand. But I think they were worried about the diving and just the aggressive play of Brandon and that thumb hitting the ground again. I guess they'll have to put something inside the glove to keep it firm and keep it stable.
So you're talking about knowing the way he plays in the field.
There's one thing about Brandon. You're not going to regulate that adrenaline and that aggressiveness in the field of play.
Santiago gets it started for the Reds here in the bottom of the second, and against a shift, oddly enough, against Santiago, he goes out 4-3, 1 out. Reminders, you enjoy this evening's game here at Great American Ballpark or on your couch at home. We look forward to bringing you our Miller Time moment of the night a little bit later on, brought to you by Miller Lite. Batter is Kozar. Talked about how rare it is to have the Boston Red Sox in town. In fact, this is only the second time ever in a regular season series that the Red Sox have been in Cincinnati, and the first time here at Great American Ballpark. Red Sox won a series in 2000. I should say the second time, and both have been here. My mistake. 2008, they came in here 13th through the 15th of June and won 2 of 3 against the Reds. So it's the first time ever that the Reds and the Red Sox have played a home and home series in one season.
It's time for the Reds to start getting on that winning side of that interleague matchup.
Yeah, currently they've won just that one game, and it was here. 1-7 against Boston. There's a look at the breakdown. Look at that runs differential right there. Team batting average,
team ERA,
dominated by the boys from Beantown. Well, like we said, they've won 3 World Series titles in the last 10 years after going 86 years without winning one. You know what, though? That bottom line there, that whole graphic, said a lot more than the top, didn't it?
Reds won when it counted.
75 World Series, 4 games to 3. Hard to Bogarts. 2 out. Boy, that ball almost came right through the webbing of the first baseman Ortiz, it looked like, didn't it?
I don't imagine he uses that glove a whole lot. That thing's probably been sitting in his locker for a couple months.
I said he made a handful of starts this year over there. In fact, this is only the 4th start he has made at first base this year. Take a look at it.
Maybe one of those gloves he had from when he was playing every day.
He had to dust that baby off. Make sure it was in his game bag when they packed it up out at Fenway to leave on this road trip. 2 out now for Latos.
If I'm Billy Hamilton, I may want to be trying out Big Papi over there at first base with that bunt. See how big the big fella moves. Just keep it away from Joe Kelly, you'll be all right.
Big Papi probably thinking the same thing. I hope he doesn't try that bunt down this way. Joe Kelly trying to cut that pitch count from the first to the second basically in half as he works on Latos here. Right back at it tomorrow against his club. An afternoon getaway game. 12:35 start. Straight up noon with Reds Live. Mike Leake will go against Anthony Renato. Young man who's had a very good year at AAA this year and a highly touted pitching prospect for the Red Sox.
Out of LSU.
That says a lot right there. Latos strikes out. Second of the game for Joe Kelly. We are through 2. Reds in front by a couple.
that made up Hall of Fame weekend for the Reds. It's all on Reds Weekly tomorrow at 6 on Fox Sports Ohio. And speaking of Hall of Fame weekend, since we last left you, indeed, the Hall of Fame Gala, which we just talked about, happened on Sunday night. And some news that came out of that. You've seen the statues around Great American Ballpark, the most recent, Joe Morgan and Johnny Bench. The Reds announced who their next statue will be, and it will be the big dog, Tony Perez, National Baseball Hall of Famer, and a very funny moment on stage when Johnny Bench and Joe Morgan made the announcement that night. Tony Perez was on the stage as you look at him in the 1975 World Series against these Red Sox. Tony got on the mic and said, you know, Johnny's statues of him throwing and Morgan's of his stealing a base. Mine, I'm going to be hacking, baby. Is known for his hitting and an RBI machine. Tony Perez honored outside of GABP. He's next.
Yeah, that was the best line maybe of the entire night on Sunday night at the Hall of Fame Gala. Agree, Cowboy?
I'm going to be hacking.
Brought the house down when he said that.
Big round of applause.
Now, they did not announce, maybe they don't know for sure yet, where that statue is going to be located. Did you hear anything about that?
Did not.
It's going to be a lot of fun, though, isn't it? Joe Kelly leads off the third for the base hit into right. Hit number 3 for Boston. Kelly has 2 hits in 3 at-bats now since joining the Red Sox. Took that thing the other way.
Pretty good piece of hitting
for a guy known for his pitching.
He got to hit a little bit at Riverside as well. Not as much as Mike Lee, but he's still got his chance.
Brock Holt now, as I mentioned earlier, the former Pirate. He went over to the Red Sox prior to the 2013 season, along with Joel Hanrahan. That worked out for Holt, not so much for Hanrahan. Toward the mound. And the sacrifice is executed by Brock Holt. It goes 1-3, moving Kelly into scoring position. Reminder to play for a chance to win $5.6 million with MLB.com's easy and free game, Beat the Streak. Pick players who get hits in 57 straight games, and you could become a millionaire. Play MLB.com Beat the Streak today.
Got the Red Sox playing a little National League ball here early.
John Farrell, he's been an American League guy really his whole career, playing wise, coaching wise, managing. He's been in the East, Toronto, and then Boston. He bunts his pitcher along with his leadoff man. Now a couple of chances for the Red Sox, who come in as a team, hitting only .236, second worst in the American League with runners in scoring position. But some pretty tough hitters coming up with the opportunity. First Pedroia, then Ortiz.
I would imagine for John Farrell, any opportunity with the leadoff base runner aboard, you want to try to take advantage of at least getting 1 run.
Pedroia singled his first time. He comes into the game at .238 with runners in scoring position.
Pedroia likes to shoot the ball the other way, as we saw the first time up. He'll jerk that thing down the left field line if you continue to pound him inside.
Runner going to third, and without the benefit of the look-see from the pitcher Latos, Kelly steals third.
Never looked at it. You could see it on the pitch previous. Kelly with a nice lead. This time he gets a walking lead, and as Latos started to move towards the plate, he was off to the races.
That will not surprise you if I tell you that that's his first career stolen base. Now Ortiz comes up there with 2 on and only 1 man out. Ortiz has bounced into a Red Sox worst 13 double plays this year. Shot one by the second baseman Santiago and into right center his first time. Popped him up to the shortstop Cozart. Zach handles it. 2 out. Pitched him a little bit differently that time.
Well, I was saying with Cespedes and with Ortiz, the best place to get them out is on the inside part of the plate. Now you can't just stay in there, but both of these guys, they really want to get extended. They want the ball out over the plate, and that ball was right in on the knuckles of Big Poppy.
Talking about their .236 average with runners in scoring position for the Red Sox, the lowest since 1974. Cespedes now with runners at the corners and 2 out. In the air into left center, but Heisey is there, and Latos works around a stolen base by the pitcher. A walk to Pedroia, 4 stranded in the game for Boston. Writer Hal McCoy while watching tonight's game, and on the 20th anniversary of the 1994 Major League Baseball strike, take a look back on what might have been for the Reds that season. Plus, a Reds minor leaguer used the ceremonial first pitch to get engaged. Get complete coverage of all of today's action involving Ohio sports on FoxSportsOhio.com. Brought to you by 1-800-SAFE-AUTO. Drive safe, spend less.
Why do they always call it a strike? Because from a player's perspective, we got locked out as well.
You know, I don't know. That comes from two different camps right there, right?
Because I was part of that.
Yes, you were. I wanted to talk to you about that, as a matter of fact.
It was not fun.
You were a Redlegs player that year?
It's 2 years in a row I felt like I got the postseason stolen. 103 wins. in '93 in San Francisco, and we were in first place in '94 as well.
Yeah, 18 games above 500. 66 wins that year for the Reds when the stoppage of play occurred, and the only time in baseball history no World Series. It was one of the biggest, if not the biggest, black eye in the game that anybody can remember, right?
And most baseball people talk about the record of the Montreal Expos. They got off to a great start, but at the point in time that we went out, we were rolling. We rolled right onto the house.
Reds that year at 66 and 48 when the break came. Montreal was at 74 and 40. The Dodgers led the West. They were only 2 games above 500. I mean, when you went into that thing, did you have any idea, any inkling that it may go as long as it did?
None of us did.
Kind of in your heart of hearts, what were you thinking was going to happen?
Couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks. We figured by the time we got to September 1st, we would get things worked out and we would play. And it was pretty evident in all of our meetings in D.C. that was not going to happen. There were quite a few hardline owners, and it just didn't happen.
And truth be told, it went into the start of the 2005 season. You didn't play a full season again until 2006.
Yeah, that was a long one.
I said 1995.
Right.
Bruce walked his first time. Now he'll see a 3-2 pitch for the second straight at bat from Joe Kelly.
There were quite a few players that were a little worried if we would ever step out onto the field again.
Broken bat, base hit into center by Jay Bruce. Well, we know the top ranking baseball players who were representatives at the time were digging their heels in, as were the owners. But the rank and file, did you guys want to get this thing settled, or did you dig in like the rest of them?
I think every player wanted to play, but you also realize that those that came before us sat out so we could have what we had. And collectively, I think we were very solid. And you know, sometimes you have to sacrifice for the good that come behind you. That's what we did. The only problem with that kind of sacrifice for a player, your time at your premier years to play the game are very limited. I mean, it's not like you have a 30-year career in a corporate business. I mean, some guys are very fortunate if they get 3 years in the big leagues.
Interesting, though, that you bring up the sacrifice made by the folks before you guys so you could do what you have done. Notable in the fact that you guys did that in '94 into the '95 season, and there's not been another work stoppage since that time.
I don't think any player nor any owner wants to go through that again, because we almost lost every fan we had.
Into the right field corner by Frazier, chased out there and caught by Nava right on the foul line. Retreating to first is Bruce. Good concentration by Nava as he approached the right field corner area for the second out.
This is not a real easy play to make, especially off a right-handed bat. The ball continues to slice towards that wall. And even though there's padding there, that is a concrete wall. It is not going to give.
So 2 out for Mesoraco. Ian Frazier had the RBI singles in the first.
Joe Kelly has gotten his radar down after that rough first inning, and really the 2 first batters.
Yeah, he had a 1-2-3 second after facing 6 and throwing 30+ pitches in inning number 1. He's faced 3 batters and has 2 men out with a runner aboard here in the bottom of the 3rd. Over the head of the second baseman, Pedroia. He can't get it. Another hit from Mesoraco. Turning the corner and heading to third is Bruce. Devin is 2 for 2 as he inches that batting average slowly but surely back toward the 300 mark.
I think just the first 2 at bats for Mesoraco tell you that he's more than just a slugger. He got inside of that ball and still able to fist it into the outfield. You were talking earlier about how strong he is. That's a strong man swing right there.
So Hamilton flied to left. Bruce singled to center. Frazier flied deep into the right field corner. Mesoraco singles to right center. First and third, 2 out for Brian Pena. Let me correct something that I said earlier. Pena, over the weekend against the Marlins, you recall, started the game on Friday, had a hit, and then left the game with that hamstring strain. Came off the bench on Saturday and had a pinch hit single that left the game for a pinch runner. Did not appear in the game on Sunday. I said Saturday and Sunday he had pinch hit base hits. What he does have is a 13-game hitting streak, a new career high for him, snapping his old mark of 12 set in 09 while with Kansas City. To the right of the shortstop. They get the force out at second. Pena retired. Reds leave a pair, and we're through 3. Reds in front, 2-0. $14 players. Get the Retro 2-button style baseball game you've been missing. Visit RBIGame.com for more details and download today on your console and mobile device. Along with the Cowboy, Jeff Brantley, Jim Kelch here at Great American Ballpark. 2-0 Reds through 3. Those runs came in the first inning on back-to-back RBI singles by Frazier and Mesoraco. Now Matt Latos working on 3 innings worth of no-run, 3-hit baseball. We'll get 5, 6, 7 in the Boston order. Daniel Nava, Xander Bogaerts, Christian Vasquez. Nava took a called 3rd strike to end inning number 1, his first time up. 2 out of 17 now for the Red Sox on this road trip. Trip that right now sees them at 3 wins, 3 losses.
I would imagine that the Red Sox right now are trying to see what they have going into next year. Would not surprise me if they called up quite a few of their prospects to see how they play in the month of September. Who you want to keep, who's going to go.
Pena will take it himself. Nava retired, 1 out. A reminder, tweet your photo using hashtag #OhioFanPhoto for a chance to have your photo shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. A little later on tonight, we'll have tonight's AT&T fan photo of the game. 1 out for Bogaerts.
Look at some of the names in this lineup we talked about earlier with Brock Holt, Nava, Bogaerts, obviously a big prospect. Will Middlebrooks the same. They're not just playing for numbers in 2014. They're playing for their future. I think you always count on in baseball. There's somebody coming after your job. If you don't get it, somebody else will.
Back to the old line. What have you done for me lately? Isn't it?
Very much. You got that right.
Bogaerts was the everyday shortstop for this Boston club the first couple of months of the year. Hit hard to third. Good reaction by Frazier. And look at that arm across the diamond in time at first to retire Bogaerts.
Some kind of pretty play. Not only the quickness of the feet of Frazier, but the fancy footwork over there by the catcher playing first base, Pena. Frazier makes it look easy. That is no easy play. That is a long throw. Nice little footwork over there by Brian Pena.
Look at him straighten up and fire that ball. That all comes from that work he did with Scott Rowland a couple of years ago, isn't it?
Stay on top. Firm into the heart.
Yeah, and as you said, great footwork adjustment by Pena over there, playing a position that he had never started a game in before this year.
You would never know it.
Never.
I mean, watching him play first base, I would think that he's played there many times in his career.
2 ground ball outs here in the 4th. Now it's Christian Vasquez, the catcher. Frazier will charge this ball. A little bit easier at first for Pena, and down in order for the second time in 4 innings go the Red Sox. Group. Let's create great dishes together. By Toyota. For over 30 Toyota offers, visit buyatoyota.com. Go for the save on Wing Tuesdays at B-Dubs with specially priced wings all day. Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports, and by T-Mobile Tuesday Night Baseball.
I like that. Go for the save. Yes, Doctor.
You're not only in the pitchers union, you're in the specialized save pitchers union, right?
I'm in the chicken wing union too, pal.
From B-Dubs? You've been there once or twice.
I have. I like my chicken now.
You weren't going to eat dinner tonight. When you heard they had chicken in there, you changed your tune a little bit.
Bring me mine.
Your lady friends in the cafeteria accommodated, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Denise, Vanetta, they take care of you
all the time.
Heisey leads it off here in the bottom of the fourth. Took a called third strike on a close 3-2 pitch his first time. Left field has been a bit of a rotating position for the Reds this year, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Primary two have been Ludwig and Heisey, but you've thrown in any number of different other players.
Really, Schumacher has played out there as much as well.
Lutz has had a few starts out there.
Well, that should tell you how much Christian Vasquez and Joe Kelly are on the same page. It was the 5th sign he gave before Kelly came to the plate.
Off-speed pitch there. Heisey strikes out. First time looking, this time swinging. Leadoff man gone here in the fourth.
Hard slider down and away. After that low fastball call for strike 3 in his initial at bat for Chris Heisey. It's down. You got to be able to adjust to that one.
Mets and the Reds begin the day in terms of the National League Central Division, 5.5 games out. Behind them, Milwaukee club. The Brewers are playing at Wrigley Field tonight, scoreless in the second after beating the Cubs yesterday. So Milwaukee has won 3 of its last 4. Cardinals are playing at Miami. Took a loss down there yesterday and are trailing 3-0 in the 5th inning tonight. That's the closest team to the Reds in the division. Only a game and a half. If the Cardinals lose tonight and the Reds win, only a game and a half separation between the two, with the Reds going in there for could turn out to be a huge 3-game series after the initial stop on the upcoming road trip out in Denver. Pirates, they're at home against Detroit, leading 3-2 in the 4th inning. They won against the Tigers last night. That series will shift from Pittsburgh to Detroit tomorrow, much like the Reds and the Indians series did. 2-2, a split 4-gamer.
Watch a pitcher on the mound that's having a little bit of difficulty with a catcher. You see the fastball put down, you shake yes, and then when he gives you location and you want it in the opposite direction, if you shake again, that hitter's going to know it's a fastball. You don't shake twice for anything except a fastball.
That's ball 4. So if you want to change location, how do you let them know that?
You stare and you don't move. You shake yes on the fastball. When he puts down inside and you want it outside, you just stare and then you automatically go away. If you shake twice, you're in trouble.
Just a reminder, if the Reds hit a home run that hits this Toyota sign during tonight's game, Jennifer Kaufman from Union, Kentucky, will win this beautiful new Tundra that's on display here at Great American Ballpark. Register for your chance to win at an upcoming game by visiting your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. That's a quick 6-4-3 turn right there. Bogarts, Pedroia, Ortiz hit into by Cozart, putting an end to the bottom of the 4th.
BP. I'm Jim Day, back with you. Reds had an off day yesterday, and some players took advantage of the R&R, if you will. They took an invite to Kings Island. In fact, took in a Q&A session at Kings Island. Matt Latos, who's on the mound right now, was one of them. Billy Hamilton, Tucker Barnhart pictured here. Now, Billy Hamilton, he's an adventurous guy. He took in the rides, although he said the roller coasters surprised him how scary they were. There he is on the beast. In fact, he said he closed his eyes the whole way, which I just can't imagine. No truth to the rumor that he got out and actually beat the beast in running beside it. But Christopher Negron was also there, and he does not like roller coasters. So they wanted to get some promotional pictures of him. So they got one of him eating some blue ice cream, and also they got him on the merry-go-round since he doesn't like roller coasters.
Jim Day, were you on that merry-go-round with him?
I was not. I do not take part in merry-go-rounds anymore.
So
it's not the manly thing to do.
You don't like roller coasters? You don't like merry-go-rounds?
I do like roller coasters, in fact.
But not merry-go-rounds?
Not merry-go-rounds. Don't like to go in circles.
Thought you'd have been out there singing all around the mulberry bush.
No.
Okay.
I was not present. But I know you were across the street.
I was across the street. In fact, that thrilled me tonight to see American Jack Sock throw out the ceremonial first pitch. American tennis player competing in the Western and Southern Open. No longer. He got beat in the first round. But up and coming American tennis star. Cowboy, they showed Christopher Negron eating ice cream. Blue ice cream. You ever had blue ice cream?
I have.
There's not an ice cream that you haven't eaten, is there?
UDF makes it all.
As long as they don't hide it from you.
That's exactly right.
They really can't.
As long as they keep pumping out that cookies and cream, we'll be good to go.
Everybody had a good off day yesterday. Back at it here tonight. 44 games. Hard to believe, but 44 games counting tonight. All that's left of the 2014 season.
Yeah, and if you think about it, the Reds have not had a day off at home since back in May. And everyone just assumes, well, they have off days and those are the times that they get to rest. Most of the off days for the Reds have either been spent on the road or on an airplane traveling to another destination.
Yeah, a lot of times the homestand will end. There's an off day and then the road trip will begin the following day, but they leave that off day afternoon to get to the city in which they're going to play next.
And when I tell folks it's 162 games in 182 days. Half of those 20 off days are spent on an airplane or in another city.
Well, there's really only 10 true off days.
And that's if you're lucky. The way the schedule is now with interleague play, it's changed even that.
Middlebrooks grounds out to third. That's 4 consecutive ground ball outs by Latos, who's not known necessarily, Cowboy, as a ground ball out guy.
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier, the transition that Matt has made just from the power pitcher to location finesse. When you don't have your best fastball, you still have to get outs. You still have to take the ball every 5th day. And the thing that Matt does, and the reason he's getting the ground ball outs, even without a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, he still pitches inside. He still makes the hitter retreat the hands. I think so many people tend to think, well, you've got to throw the ball 100 miles an hour to intimidate somebody inside. You just get it in there where they can hear it. And they can hear it at 90-92, trust me.
Kelly, it sounded like he broke his bat. He's going to ground out 4-3 here for a 5th straight ground ball out by Latos. You know, we talk a lot about Joel Lucca being a stat man extraordinaire, Cowboy.
He is.
And he is. And to prove that fact, he has come up with the numbers and the names and the dates of the last pitcher to steal third base, like Kelly did back in the 3rd inning. The last pitcher to steal third base in the big leagues, Ted Lilly, back in 2008 against Arizona. The last pitcher to do it against the Reds was Scott Garrelts
of the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, back in 1986.
Scott was one of my teammates.
Last American League pitcher to steal third, the former Red Kip Wells, for the White Sox against the Cubs in 2001. Now, is that good work right there?
It's tremendous.
Thank you, Joel. Holt with 2 men out. A little bit of a roll here now for Latos. He's set down 7 in a row, 8 of the last 9. Gunning for his 3rd straight win, his 5th win overall, and his 60th win in his career if he can get it tonight. Cowboy, a bit of a change tomorrow. We initially thought Homer Bailey was going to get the start for the Reds, but he's been pushed back. Instead, it's going to be Mike Leake. Ryan Price said to the media before the game that Homer has a little bit of some stiffness in his elbow, and he's pushed back not 1 start, not 1 day, but 4. So we want to get your thoughts on what you make of that when we come back. Down in order on another ground ball, 6 in a row by Latos in the middle of the 5th. Start of every game. That's with Reds Live pregame presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing right here on your exclusive home of Reds baseball. Fox Sports Ohio. We'll have another one for you tomorrow. Game will start at 12:35. Reds Live pregame will kick things off beginning at noon. Speaking of tomorrow, how about the pitching matchup for the second and final game of this series? It'll be Anthony Renato, highly touted pitching prospect for Boston, a 13-game winner at AAA this year, against Mike Leake, trying to even his record. Mike's been pitching very well as of late.
Yes, he has.
That's tomorrow, noon with Reds Live, 12:35. The Cowboy and I will bring you the game.
I think you were talking about Homer Bailey missing the start tomorrow. I think that your initial reaction is, oh my goodness, something's wrong with his elbow. We've signed him to this long-term deal. I think that's a little bit of an overreaction, because I think if you look back to the beginning of spring training, the injury that Homer had to the groin, this push-off leg, it took a while for him to get back to throwing mechanics and to get back to aggressive pitching. And a lot of times when you miss spring training the way Bailey did, and then you're trying to speed it up, you're trying to hurry it along, all of a sudden you're taxing your arm so much in April and May that you almost run out of gas by the time it gets to August. And August is always the most difficult month. September, you can redline a little bit. You can push it those last 4 or 5 starts. But August, it just seems like it catches up with either in the arm, in the leg, sometimes in the back for some guys.
Well, it's too bad, because other than Cueto, no one right now pitching better than Bailey.
Yes.
I mean, the guy has put up phenomenal numbers here in the last 6, 7 outings.
He has. And I think you, as a pitcher, you have to recognize, okay, do I Do I continue to throw with my arm the way it is, knowing that it's probably going to get worse, or do I skip a start? And with the off day yesterday, sometimes you just have to be honest with the manager.
That's what Homer was, and Brian Price, being the former pitching coach that he was, will give him until the end of the series against Colorado to find out if Homer's ready to go again. Homer this year with a record of 9-5 with a 3.71 ERA since the All-Star break, and really even a little bit right before that. Lights out for this guy.
Yes, he has.
Here's Billy Hamilton. Ortiz is in. Let's see if Billy has on his mind what Cowboy mentioned earlier about testing Ortiz down at first base.
Big Papi could move in another 5 feet and I'd still bunt it at him.
We saw Billy lay down the perfect bunt toward Garrett Jones playing first base over the weekend. The Marlins first baseman. Middlebrooks is in at third.
And for Hamilton here, all he's got to do is bunt the ball where Ortiz has to go get it and then beat him to the bag. We've seen him do that time and time again.
Now he's in the hole 1 and 2, and Ortiz will move back, as will, well, Middlebrooks. He moves back 1 step, but he's still in on the grass at third. Pedroia moves to his right, makes that play. 2 out. Billy's 0 for 2 with a walk. He really had a tough go of it here as of late. He is right near the 200 mark since the All-Star break. Kroger and the Reds are proud to team up to offer you a great value this season. That's the Kroger Meal Deal. Check concession stands throughout the ballpark for the Kroger Meal Deal, which includes a hot dog, a bag of wheat thins, 16-ounce Coke, and during this homestand, Chips Ahoy. Make sure you get your Kroger Meal Deal today. Nothing Reds here in the bottom of the 5th. Since that first inning, Kelly has really settled in nicely, hasn't he? Bruce been on twice, a walk and a single. And they'll pop this one up. Bogart's chasing it, gives way, and a basket catch made by Cespedes to retire Bruce and end the bottom of the 5th. Still wearing that Oakland Athletics colored glove, but he makes it knee high.
And here's tonight's Mazda pitch by pitch. 2 on, back in the first inning. Got the big fella at the plate, and he comes right in on his knuckles and pops him up to second base. That kind of set the tone for earlier in the ball game. Pitch Nava inside early. Backdoor breaking ball for the strikeout there. Now Big Papi right in on the hands. Papi looking for that ball out over the plate like he did in his first at bat, not getting it. This second time for Cespedes, he didn't quite get it in as far, but he got it in enough to get it off the label and keep it off the barrel of the bat.
Yeah, the 6'6" right-hander grew up in Coconut Creek, Florida. Goes back to work here in the 6th inning. He set down 8 in a row. 14 of the last 16. Pedroia shoots this one right on a line into center. Hamilton is there, so 1 pitch, 1 out, inning number 6. It actually breaks a streak of 6 straight ground ball outs that Latos had recorded. Here's Big Papi. Ortiz now 38 years old in his 18th big league season. Most of those with Boston. Many don't remember that he actually got into professional baseball, signed a free agent contract with Seattle, and then made his big league debut some years later as a Twin. I'm marveling at the fact that he hit 20 home runs in 2002, drove in 75, hit 272, and after that season released by the Red Sox, by the Twins. Released. 20 homers, 75 RBIs.
Did not really have a position for him.
Because of Ken Herbeck and company in Minnesota. He gets him on strikes here, so he hit the ball hard his first time, got the base hit. He popped up in the 3rd, and he strikes out here in the 6th.
If you think about it, Jim, adversity for a lot of times with athletes, it either brings out the best or you fold up. And a guy like Big Papi just decided, well, I'm not going to get released again. Change your swing. Make sure you're able to do what you're supposed to do on the field.
Really, you bring up an interesting point, because there's been a couple of times in the last, 5 years or so, that it looked like Boston was ready to give up on Ortiz. And he said, hey, I'm ready to go.
Don't give up on me.
And he's proven those points. He's had 20-plus home runs every year since 2002.
He is an RBI machine.
He comes into today's game at 457 career home runs, tied for 35th with the former Red Adam Dunn. The question will be, of course, and he's 43 home runs away. He's signed through next year. You've got to believe that he's going to get the 500 next year. Part of the 04 Red Sox World Series title. Same thing in 07. Same thing last year. 3 World Series rings to his credit. Pena will chase it, but it's out of play. Cespedes has popped up and flied out. He's 0 for 2. Not 1 but 2 home run derby titles to his credit in 2013 and again this year in 2014 in Minneapolis.
And I would imagine in Boston, as far as keeping Ortiz on, there's the heart side that says this guy's been part of 3 World Series champions after all those years of futility, but yet you also know I've got to get what I pay for, and sometimes it gets a little tough.
Chase that big breaking ball in the dirt. Cespedes strikes out. 2 of them in the inning for Latos, who's now set down 11 in a row. That's tonight's IGS bringing the energy feature. Todd Frazier, Devin Mesoraco, the only two players from the same team in the National League with 20 home runs each. Mesoraco joined that club on Sunday with his dual home run game.
Dual All-Stars as well.
The 20th, he did it in resounding fashion with that grand slam against the left-hander hand, knocked him right out of the game.
You got to believe with 17 stolen bases and a little over a month and a half to play that Frazier will get to that 2020 mark rather easily.
Pops this one up, playable. Middlebrooks. Frazier is retired. Well, if he can get there, Frazier can get there, he'll join the lights of Aaron Boone and Chris Sabo as the only other Reds third baseman to have 20 homers and at least 20 steals in a year. Sabo did it in '90, the World Championship year. Aaron Boone did it in '02.
Yeah, because you think about third basemen as big power guys, sluggers. They play the hot corner, but yet not always fleet of foot. You hit 20 home runs and steal 20 bases. You got a little bit more than just power.
As the other half of that duel we were talking about, Mesoraco, base hit in this game. The average right now on the cusp, 300. He spent a good portion of the year over 300.
He spent part of it over 400.
Yeah, very early on. And you could not get him out.
No. It was hotter than a match.
I just recall he was on the DL. He came off the disabled list when the team was in Philadelphia. He stepped to the plate on the very first pitch. Home run. It's like, wow. Are you kidding me?
Welcome back.
Two of the 4 hits the Reds have picked up in this game, leading 2-0 here in the 6th. Well, we were blessed with very good crowds over the weekend here. Hall of Fame weekend against the Marlins, and we have a tremendous Monday night gathering here with the Red Sox in town, expecting the same tomorrow afternoon. In case you're wondering about the weather tomorrow, the afternoon game is going to be in the 70s. No rain expected. It'll be a great day to come on out to Great American Ballpark. Watch Mike Leake gun for his 10th win.
Middle of August in the 70s.
How about that?
Oh man, that's something kind of nice.
Cowboy, a news conference held down in the Reds dugout prior to the game this afternoon with the one of the newest members of the Reds family, Raisel Iglesias. The Cuban signed the 7-year deal back in June, introduced to the Reds media today.
24-year-old right-handed pitcher.
Into the left field corner, fair ball. Off the wall, playing it out there. Cespedes hustling into second and getting there with a double as that throw from Cespedes went way over the head of the cutoff man Bogarts. Luckily Ortiz was backing it up. Extra base hit for Devin Mesoraco, his 3rd hit of this game, 20th double of the year.
This is not a hitter's pitch. Watch, see where that ball is? That's below the strike zone, and he still hooks it in the corner.
He's on some sort of a roll right now, isn't he?
Tremendous upper body strength. You know the legs are strong because he's squatting for a living. But I tell you, his upper body strength and the ability to hook the baseball is amazing.
3 for 3 in this game. His 8th 3-hit game of this year for Devin Mesoraco. And there you saw the number, his 20th double. Getting late now for Pena as we play in the 6th inning, trying to keep that hitting streak alive. Earlier this year, Todd Frazier had a 14-gamer. That's the longest by a Reds player this year. Pena sitting on 13.
You know, we talk so often showing different things on the IGS, bringing the energy. Mesoraco not only brings the energy every day, he brings the intensity. His facial expressions, they tell the story.
Second longest active streak going right now behind Jernard Span of the Nationals at 14-gamer. Opportunity to add to a 2-0 Reds lead here in the bottom of the 6th. As Mesoraco perched out at second. Pena got under it and popped it up. Left side. And it's handled there by Bogarts. 2 out. Well, you can always have the latest information on the Reds right at your fingertips. How? Follow Reds reporter Kevin Goheen from FoxSportsOhio.com on Twitter at FSOhio_K Goheen for the latest news and stories on your favorite team, the Cincinnati Reds. Two out for Heisey. Chris has struck out twice. Vasquez showing off an arm right there.
Vasquez was setting up almost a foot off the plate there, and that ball ended up and in to Heisey.
One catcher trying to pick off another.
You're on the mound and that happens. You count your lucky stars. You missed your target by 3.5 feet.
Over 100 pitches now. This is number 103 by Kelly. Into right, chased out there by Nava. He got there. Daniel Nava runs that one down. Reds leave a runner. Still up 2 after 6. Scooted on into center. Billy gets up, heads on to third. He's there with nobody out. Frazier then drives him home. He gives the Reds a 1-0 lead. Frazier went to second on a hit, then scores on this one by Devin Mesoraco into center field. 2-0 Reds, and then it was Matt Latos. He goes into the seventh, having set down 11 in a row, 17 of his last 19. He struck out 4. He at one point had 6 consecutive outs via the ground ball. Been dominant tonight, Cowboys.
Really has. He talked about his ability just to change his pitching repertoire and to change his style of pitching. Not everybody can do that. Instead of relying on the sinking fastball and the velocity and the cut of the fastball, he's gone to the changeup, location of the fastball, and that big curveball to keep the hitters off balance.
Six times in 10 starts, he's been able to go 7 innings or more since he made his first start of the year in the middle of June up in Milwaukee. Working into the 7th tonight. Again, 11 in a row, 17 of the last 19. He is retired as he faces Daniel Nava to start the 7th. Sitting very nice on a pitch count of 78 coming into this inning.
That's the other part that Latos has really transitioned. Pitch efficiency per inning, probably the best that he's ever had in his career.
Well, you were talking earlier about how he's gone away from being such a strikeout pitcher. Down over 2 strikeouts, almost 3 strikeouts a game this year from where he's been in the past.
There's some points as you move along in your career, depending on how your body feels, how your arm feels, you want outs on the first 2 or 3 pitches. You set up the first one, you get ahead, you make your pitch. If you happen to get to 2 strikes, you go for it right then. If you don't, then you get him out on the next one.
Toward left center field by Nava. That ball sinking fast. That's going to get down and go to the wall. Heisey will get to it. Nava has himself a double. 11 in a row streak ended on that double hit, a double by Nava.
This is a point where you've got 2 speedy guys, Heisey in left, Hamilton in center, where they came together. And normally Hamilton backhands that ball and stops it from going to the track. Now, I don't think he could have stopped Nava from getting a double. But you could see the little bit of miscommunication there as they came together.
Now it's Xander Bogaerts. Fouled out, grounded out, 0 for 2. Two for 25 on the road trip for Bogaerts. Mentioned this is the 2nd worst hitting team in the American League. They came in at 242. They've scored the fewest runs in the American League. They've hit the 2nd fewest home runs. They have the 2nd fewest steals. They're just not generating much on the offensive side of things in 2014. This one's lined into left field by Bogaerts, and that'll get the Red Sox on the board. Heisey will get it back in. Bogaerts gets his 30th run batted in, and this is a 1-run game. A double, a single, and it's 2-1.
We talked about Latos pitching inside. The ball is supposed to be inside, and he doesn't quite get it there.
But a good swing on that ball. Now the tying run on with nobody out. The go-ahead run in person of the youngster Christian Vasquez, who's 0 for 2 tonight, 0 for his last 12 at the plate. Burke Badenhop now up and throwing in the Boston bullpen. Latos to Santiago cover. Second sacrifice of the night for Boston. First one went to Holt. This one goes to Vasquez. Tying run at second with one out. John Farrell watches from his dugout on the third base side. Ryan Price does it from the right side. A couple of former pitchers managing now.
It's interesting to see two former pitching coaches now in the managerial chair.
Jumbo Diaz up and throwing in the Reds bullpen. Middlebrooks is 0 for 2. He has struck out and grounded out. He took over in 2012 for the Cincinnati native Kevin Youkilis at third base. Youkilis went on the disabled list. Middlebrooks stepped in. Really did a nice job in 2012. Hit .288 for them with 15 homers. And they thought, hey, we've got a younger guy, Youkilis, at the end of his career. Middlebrooks took over. Last year hit .227. This year .188. So he hasn't been able to find that magic again of 2 years ago. In fact, they eventually traded Youkilis to the White Sox.
You come to the big leagues, you have success, the pitchers will change, and the hitters do the same. You've got a young pitcher on the mound that is staying within a certain consistency. You change your approach at the plate in order to be successful. Sometimes as a hitter, you don't adjust a little bit, they find that hole and they go to it time and time and time again.
New supply of baseballs to the home plate umpire as a meeting of the minds between pitcher and catcher takes place on the hill. Boston has gotten on the board here in the seventh. Leadoff double by Daniel Nava to left center. RBI single to left by Bogaerts. Vasquez sacrificed Bogaerts down to second. He's the tying run with one out.
It almost looks as though Middlebrooks is trying to do whatever he can to shoot the ball through the right side of the infield, with Santiago holding on the runner at second.
In the air left field. Heisey going back. He's near the wall. He'll have room. And he hauls it in. Well, right off the bat, that looked like it was going to carry a little bit more than it did.
I've got to believe that when Mesoraco went out to the mound, especially after the two swings on the breaking balls, Mesoraco, hey, let's get back inside. You can see where Mesoraco sets here. And Matt just didn't quite get the ball in as far as where Mesoraco wanted it.
Now Mike Napoli, normally the first baseman when they're playing an American League club and Ortiz is DHing, the former catcher, comes out of the dugout. He will bat for Joe Kelly, and that will spur a visit to the mound from Jeff Pico, the Reds pitching coach.
And I think if you're Brian Price and Jeff Pico right now, this is not the guy that you want to let beat you in Mike Napoli. I know he's coming off cold off the bench, but this guy can hit the ball a long way. I think you make pitches here against Napoli. If you walk him, so be it. You face Brock Holt. You don't want to lay one in there to this guy.
So here's Napoli with a runner at second and 2 men out. Off the bench this year, he's 0 for 1. On the year, he's hitting .266 with 14 homers, 40 runs batted in. Big candidate for the strikeout, having fanned 1 every 3 times up. Napoli, 32 years old, out of Hollywood, California. Pardon me, Hollywood, Florida. Red Sox player since 2013. Longtime Angel, then a Texas Ranger. Last year, 23 homer, 92 RBI guy for the Red Sox.
See that high hands hold of Napoli when he comes to the plate, almost keeping that front arm straight. You're on the mound, you see a hitter come to the plate like that. You stay away from down and in, you get 2 strikes. That's when you want to elevate the fastball up around the letters. Try to aim for that front elbow.
Runner going to third.
Not there.
Line drive foul.
This is a breaking ball that just spins in the middle of the plate, where you see those hips clear and those hands come through.
Latos trying to protect a 1-run lead here in the 7th. Napoli protecting.
More times than not, you see a hitter with his hands as high as Napoli. Tells you he's a good low ball hitter. That's why you see Napoli chase that breaking ball down, because that's where his strength is. And that ball starts down there, he'll go after it. But he's got a loop in his swing right around the chest. Too far in.
Brock Holt, representing the top of the order, waits on deck. There's that look that the Red Sox sported last year, that bearded look. They all had them late in the year and into the playoffs. Got him. Latos strikes out Napoli. Strands the tying run. Bogarts out at second base. Gives up just 1 in the top of the 7th inning. Stretch time at Great American Ballpark. Matt Latos with a big strikeout of the pinch hitter Napoli. It ended the top of the frame. Let's take a look at it here at 3-2. Got him on the breaking ball off the plate. Napoli chased it, didn't get it. That's tonight's Cholula hot sauce flamethrower of the night. 87 miles an hour for Matt Latos. Big strikeout right there, Cowboy.
Yeah, and it looked like to me that that last pitch was set up by that high fastball. And Mike Napoli knows that he will swing at the high fastball. That last pitch before the slider happened to be up and in a little bit too far, but it changed the eye level for Napoli.
Red Sox change pitchers. They have the former Marlin Burt Badenhop into the game now. '52nd appearance for him. He's having a very good year. Gets the first out here on a line drive by Santiago to Ortiz. 0-2, but with a 2.67 ERA. Badenhop has some local ties. He's from Perrysburg, Ohio. That's where he went to high school and attended college at Bowling Green State. Drafted initially by the Tigers. Part of that big deal between Miami, then Florida, the Marlins, and Detroit. Miguel Cabrera, Dontrell Willis. He went from the Tigers to the Marlins.
Dontrell, boy, he had some years in Florida, didn't he?
You know, you go down there to the Marlins games and they have posters and
plastered
all over the place at Dontrell Willis. You saw this guy Badenhop with the Brewers last year, 63 games and a 3.47 ERA. Pedroia, 2 out. Talked earlier about our AT&T fan photo of the game. We continue to ask you to tweet those using the hashtag #OhioFanPhoto. Here's tonight's AT&T fan photo of the game from Eric with Devin Mesoraco. Good shot right there. Thank you, Eric. AT&T fan photo of the game. John Farrell to the mound. The Red Sox will make a pitching change. They'll bring in the lefty Tommy Lane out of their bullpen.
They made that change as soon as the Reds had Schumacher announced.
This is our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen here in the bottom of number 7. north and cheer on the Reds as they take on the Atlanta Braves. Purchase 4 tickets for only $48. Receive $20 towards any order at Cervati Pastry Shop and Deli. Plus, don't miss a spectacular Fireworks Friday show and a limited edition commemorative 2015 All-Star bobblehead giveaway on August the 23rd. For tickets, 513-381-REDS. Visit reds.com/4 for 48. New pitcher on Cowboy is a lefty, Tommy Lane.
Tommy Lane getting an opportunity here in August and September out of the Red Sox bullpen with the trade of Andrew Miller, who was really their stopgap from the left side. This is part of what we were talking about earlier. We're seeing some young position players for the Red Sox, and John Farrell trying to get a look at them. But out of that bullpen and out of the rotation, there's some young arms as well.
This is a guy, Lane, who was a former San Diego Padre, signed as a free agent by Boston in the off season. Tall and thin, 6'2", 190.
The key is being left-handed. You come out of that bullpen and get a left-handed hitter out on a given note, you pitch a long time in the big leagues.
He, like his battery mate Christian Vasquez, spent a lot of this year at AAA Pawtucket. He was doing the job down there as well. I mentioned this year up here, 7 games at 159. Down there, 37 games and a 150. Schumacher trying to get it going here in the 7th with 2 men out. Bogarts. And the Reds go in order for the 3rd time tonight. Into the 8th we go at Great American Ballpark. 2-1 Reds. The Reds are playing. Let's go back to 1975. Joe Morgan, Game 7. This ball hit into center field. A base hit scored Griffey Sr. to give the Reds the lead. And now Yastrzemski, fly ball, caught by Geronimo. And the Reds celebrate the first of what would be back-to-back World Series titles. 1975 win at Fenway. Joe Morgan with a big hit. We just saw Joe, talk to him this weekend. He was here for Hall of Fame weekend.
The great 8.
Joe walking a little slowly this past weekend. He had knee replacement surgery. Jonathan Broxton into the game.
This is how the Reds have provided a winning formula. Starter for 7, Broxton, Chapman, ballgame.
Let's see if that formula can work here on the 12th of August. Top of the order, Brock Holt will lead it off. Latos, another ultra quality start. 1 run, 5 hits, 7 innings. So in 11 starts, he has 8 quality and 5 ultra quality starts this year. Line to right, the base hit for Brock Holt. The tying run is on against Broxton here in the 8th. Big crowd tonight of 35,903. 35,903. The 39th game of 30,000 or more here at Great American Ballpark this year. Great American Ballpark record for crowds of 30,000 or more set last year when they had 46 of them. The Reds after tonight still have 21 home games remaining. A great chance to break that record set just a year ago.
One thing you have to guard against with Pedroia at the plate is the hit and run. He handles the bat so well, and he's able to hit virtually any pitch to the right side.
He only struck out 61 times and over 450 at bats.
Makes some serious contact.
What you like on the stat sheet if you're a Reds fan, he has bounced into 11 double plays. Red Sox have now actually out-hit the Reds 6-5. Reds lead 2-1. Question is, will those 2 first-inning runs hold up here tonight? Two teams met in May, Fenway Park. 1-run games both. First game went 12. Boston won it 4-3. The Reds had tied it with 2 in the 8th inning. RBI single by Frazier, sac fly by Ludwig, and then Boston won it in the 12th inning. The base hit by Grady Sizemore, remember, against Logan Ondrusek. Second game of that series, May the 7th. Reds had the early lead. Boston tied it with 2 in the 6th. Reds took the lead in the 7th. Boston gets 2 in the bottom of the 8th. And they win that one 4-3. Another tight one here tonight. Oh, he got right in on his hands right there.
You really have to keep Pedroia honest. The only way you can do that is by running that fastball in on his hands. The ball that's up, he has a hard time getting to. The ball that's down, well, that's a different story.
Ortiz waits on deck. Left-handed hitter, then Cespedes. Broxton on in relief of Latos. Both starters, in fact, out of the game. Both had quality starts tonight. Kelly 2 runs, 6 innings. Latos 1 run in 7.
This is the kind of ball game where it helps to have a guy pitching before your closer that has closing experience, i.e. Jonathan Broxton. Because this inning, you would almost rather have Chapman in this inning if you didn't have Broxton, because these are the 4 best hitters that they've got.
Hit hard to right. Bruce backpedals and makes the catch. Out number 1. Or you're a third of the way through it. 2 consecutive times up, and 3 times in this game that Pedroia has smoked the ball.
This is the part of the lineup when you're going through the scouting report, you get into some heavy detail. Late in the ball game, how are we going to pitch Ortiz? How are we going to face Cespedes?
Interesting to hear you talk about Broxton and Chapman, because that's how it was with you and Shaw, right?
More times than not, Jeff Shaw was facing the 3, 4, 5, and I got the 6, 7, 8. Thank you very much.
But the tandem worked well together.
We did all right.
Nasty Boys, same thing.
Of course, they started in the 7th inning.
Yeah. But the idea is the same. Ortiz tonight 1 for 3. Ortiz, in case you're wondering, has faced Broxton one time in his career, grounded out. Two-1 Reds here in the 8th. Pena, what a reaction by Pena. Got to that ball and back to the bag to retire David Ortiz.
That was no easy play, especially for a fellow who makes his living as a catcher. Check this out. Going back over the shoulder, the leap. Now you got to get back to the bag, buddy.
That's a heck of a play right there by Brian Pena. I thought that thing was into right field.
Well, even for a lot of first basemen, that ball is into right field. If you don't turn and go back the way Pena did, if you even stand flat-footed for a second, that ball's over your head.
Some sort of reaction. He was a step, Cowboy, inside the base right there. So you had Pena getting that ball and hustling toward first. You had Broxton bearing down on him. You had Ortiz bearing down on him. Pena got there first. 2 out now for Cespedes. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Playing in his 9th game since the trade with Oakland for the Red Sox. Spins him around, up and in. 3rd time that Cespedes has faced Broxton. He struck out his 1st time. He was hit by a pitch his 2nd time. Tying run at second, Holt. Hit hard to center field. Hamilton chasing. Billy looks up. Home run.
Well, that doesn't happen to the Reds too often at this point in the ball game.
Of the year, 2nd as a member of the Red Sox. His first came on Sunday against the Angels. And he gets it against Broxton. Tonight's Nissan drive of the game comes here in the top of the 8th. Yoenis Cespedes, straightaway center.
I thought Broxton may come back with a breaking ball after that fastball up and in. That baby was right down the wrong way.
3rd home run given up by JB this year. Now the Reds, who haven't scored since the 1st, to kick that offense in gear. Big blast right there by Cespedes. Nava now with the bases clear and 2 out. Well, you got through Pedroia, Cowboy. You get through Ortiz. Can't make it all the way through. That's a tough threesome right there.
Well, not only is it a tough threesome, but you had first base open. I know you don't want to walk the go-ahead run, but if you look at this lineup, Pedroia, Ortiz, Cespedes, those are the guys you don't let beat you.
So the second guessing will begin now as to whether, as you said, with first base open, maybe you bypass Cespedes. Not necessarily intentional.
Yeah, you don't intentionally walk him there. And I'm sure that Broxton will tell you that's not where I wanted that pitch.
Sure.
It happens.
Other than Kansas City, the remarkable Kansas City Royals this year, the Red Sox have the fewest home runs in the American League. That's only their 88th. But at least temporarily, it has given them a 3-2 lead here in the top of the 8th, meaning Matt Latos will not get his 60th career victory tonight. Strikeout of Nava puts an end to the 8th inning. 2-run homer by Cespedes. Hamilton leads it off in the bottom of the 8th. And the Baltimore Orioles. Coverage begins Saturday at 12:30 Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. New game now here in Great American Ballpark. 3-2 Boston, thanks to the home run by Cespedes. His 2-run shot, his 19th of the year. Meanwhile, the Red Sox make some defensive changes. They bring in Jackie Bradley Jr., their fine center fielder, to take over in center. They move Brock Holt to right. Daniel Nava out of the game. Tommy Lane stays in there. He faced one batter, Schumacher. Grounded him out to end the 7th. Now gets Hamilton, turns him around, batting from the right side. Hits one hard in the center, but Bradley is there. He glides for the ball much like Billy does. 1 out. That's Jay Bruce. Jay with a hit tonight and a walk. He's been on twice.
Bet your bottom dollar this is the last guy Lane will be facing.
A couple of tough right-handers following Bruce. Frazier and Mesoraco. Edward Mujica, former Cardinal, throwing in the Boston bullpen. Speaking of the Cardinals, they're down in the 9th inning, 3-0 at Miami. Milwaukee trailing at Chicago 3-0 in the 6th inning. Pittsburgh leading 4-2 at home over Detroit in the 7th inning. One man out in the bottom of the 8th. Reds now down by a run at 3-2. Who's got under it? Cespedes. 2 out. Here comes John Farrell. He signals to the bullpen. The former Cardinal closer Edward Mujica has been throwing. Mujica will enter this game with 2 men out, nobody on, here in the bottom of the 8th. Don Mujica, his best work was really the tail end of 12 and 13 with the Cardinals, because this year those numbers don't compare.
No, he really had the split finger under control when he was in a Cardinal uniform. His fastball has always been 90-92, but that split finger that year just seemed to come out to perfection every time he let it loose.
He faces Frazier here with 2 out, nobody on. There's the numbers career-wise, 1 for 6 for Todd. Reds have been out hit 7-5, outscored 3-2. Only have 1 hit since the 3rd inning. That was the double by Mesoraco, who waits on deck. Ball and strike.
I gotta imagine the Red Sox are pretty happy with what they've gotten from Joe Kelly now in 2 starts.
Well, let's see, 3 runs in 13 innings. You bet.
Did not start out on the greatest note for Joe Kelly. First 4 batters reach, but in this game, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
He finished pretty darn well. Frazier trying to keep the bottom of the 8th going. Reds have Jumbo Diaz and Aroldis Chapman up in the bullpen. full count. Trying to get that tying run on base. Bring Mesoraco to the plate. And that's what happens. Frazier draws the walk. Tying run aboard for Mesoraco.
Every pitch, either right on the outside corner, save that first hanging breaking ball. You come into the ball game, you think, all right, I got one guy to get out. I want to stay away from the long ball, but you can't be too careful. Now you've let the go-ahead run come to the plate. He's seeing it pretty good tonight.
Hottest hitter the Reds have, Devin Mesoraco. 2 home runs, 6 RBIs on Sunday. A walk, a single, and a double. 3 for 3 tonight. The walk put Frazier at first. He represents the tying run. Mesoraco the go-ahead run. The number now on the average up over 300 again. 0 for 1 lifetime against Mojica. In the air, Ortiz chasing, Pedroia chasing. They can't get it. It'll be a tough play for Ortiz. It was over his head. Pedroia just couldn't get there. 0-2.
I don't think Ortiz would have gotten to that ball even if it had bounced in fair territory. He looked like he was running underwater. Big fella's got some personality, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, you bet. Popped him up. This one may be playable. Vasquez. Inning over. Mujica gets the job done. We go to the 9th. 3-2 Boston. (2014) Best Children's Hospitals. How about our John Morrell hot dog play of the game? Brian Pena. Great work here against David Ortiz. Backpedals. Great instincts by Pena. Takes it himself. Gets Ortiz. That was the second out of the 8th inning. That's tonight's John Morrell hot dog play of the game.
His hamstring looked pretty nimble there.
He sure did, yeah. He's going to have He'll lead off in the bottom of the ninth. One more crack to keep that hitting streak alive. Meanwhile, the Reds asked Jumbo Diaz to keep it a one-run game.
Well, if he keeps the streak alive, it'll be against Koji Uehara, closer for the Red Sox.
At 39 years old, or all-star this year for the first time in his career. Instrumental in Boston's charge toward the World Series last year, Uehara. In fact, he was the ALCS MVP last year in their defeat of the Detroit Tigers, 4-2. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Ninth inning now, top half. Bogarts against Jumbo Diaz. What a story this young man has been. It's coming up from Louisville. I say young man, relatively speaking. In baseball terms, he's older at 30. This is a heck of a find for the Reds last year, getting him into the system, doing what he did at AAA Louisville a year ago. Really at AA first, then Louisville. Doing what he did again at the AAA level this year, minus that first outing, carrying all that right over to the big leagues.
We talk about it all the time. Rookie players coming up, rookie pitchers coming up. It doesn't matter if you break in at 19 or you break in at 30. You're still breaking in. You have to take advantage of the opportunity. Boy, has he done that.
The appeal there, get the call from Jerry Meals at first base. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Bogarts. He had the RBI single that plated Nava back in the 7th, getting the Red Sox on the board. Vasquez on deck, then Middlebrooks. You're in the 9th. Out of play.
Everybody that sees Diaz pitch remarks about the 99-mile-an-hour fastball. The reason that he's been successful is command of the breaking ball. At the big league level, I don't care how hard you throw it. Sooner or later, they're going to time it and hit that fastball.
And they're sitting on it, know it's coming.
You put a little wrinkle in it, you can make some fellas look foolish.
Got to make them think a little bit, right? Bogart snapped an 0 for 15 with that RBI single in the 7th. Nava, who had the double that led off the inning, snapped an 0 for 10. They've had a couple of guys who were not hitting overly well come through for them late stages of this one. Holt led off the 8th with his hit, gave him a 6-game hitting streak. Cespedes, the home run, now is hitting 7 in a row. 17 of 20 since the All-Star break. Boston trying to protect the lead. Diaz trying to keep them where they are.
Look at the at-bats, 7th, 8th, and now the 9th inning from the Red Sox. It's like a totally different team coming to the plate.
Look more aggressive, certainly, don't they? Latos went 7, allowed 1 run. Broxton charged with a blown save, 2 runs, 2 hits in an inning. That's a real rarity for him, though, this year. He has been lights out. Cozart moves to his right. Double pumps. Safe at first.
ball had top spin on it, and it made Cozart have to reach up and away to the backhand side. It looked like when he reached into the glove to get the baseball, he didn't quite have the grip, and that just bit of hesitation there causes the ball to sail on him. He just couldn't quite get the grip on the baseball.
Bogart's credited with a single. Boston gets the leadoff man on for the third straight inning. Now it's Christian Vasquez, the catcher. Twice he's grounded out. Last time a sacrifice bunt. Great out the move to first for us for Diaz, Cowboy. That obviously wasn't his best right there.
Well, for a big guy, the only thing that you want to do is let the runner know that you realize he's there. Well, that looked like a protect yourself bunt right there. That ball is either going to get bunted or hit him.
That was boring right in on him.
It's when you throw that ball in there and you hear the batter.
Kind of like a tennis player when they hit the ball, right?
So he's trying to get out of the way of the ball. Just happened to hit the bat.
Changes things up, fouls this one out of play. Surprisingly, Cespedes hit that home run. A lot of Red Sox fans here tonight. Don't know if they came in from New England or they are closet Red Sox fans living in this area.
You never know.
Look at all that Red Sox gear. Santiago, there's one, bare hand throw to first, safe. Santiago got it to Cozart with a bare hand. Zach caught it and fired. Not in time to get Vasquez. Brian Price will walk slowly out.
If you watch Cozart here, I think he is thinking that Santiago is going to tag the runner and then go to first. And Cozart got to the bag, lost his momentum just for a bit. Boy, he's out. He hit the back part of the bag instead of the front.
And Brian Price will challenge this. He had that slow walk out there.
I think he's going to be out. If he hits the front half of the bag, which is what you're taught, he's safe. But the stride took him over the front part of the bag. He hit the back part of the bag. It just gives you that extra split second. He's lunging. Doesn't quite get the foot down in time. As I hang with him, you are out, pal.
And that ball is in the back of the glove. It appeared right there is what they tell you.
That is the ruling. We'll see how they see it in New York. That's what counts.
In the call on the field was out. So what the Reds are looking for here is an overturn.
No, the call on the field was safe.
I'm sorry, the call on the field was safe. So the Reds are looking for an overturn here. In other words, clear and convincing evidence that the call on the field was incorrect. That's what the Reds are looking for.
Back of the glove, you see the ball. That foot's still in the air.
Well, if the call stands, it'll be a runner on with one out. If the call is overturned, the base is cleared, 2 out. You get Jerry Meals, who made the call over there at first. And the other second base umpire, pardon me, the first base umpire, Jordan Baker. It's Baker who made the call. Pardon me, it was Meals who made the call. And the second base umpire, Paul Emmel.
He's out.
And they overturn it and call him out.
Well, that's why you're taught to hit the front part of the bag, closest part of the bag to you, not the back part of the bag. It shows you how important that is in fundamental baseball.
First double play turned by the Reds tonight clears the bases for Will Middlebrooks. Kelly Johnson, the former Yankee, in fact he was with the Yankees when the Reds played there right after the All-Star break. He is now with this club. Part of the deal that sent Stephen Drew from Boston to New York. He's on deck. Cheating to his right, Santiago makes the play, and the inning is over. An infield hit, a double play, and a ground out. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. Reds down 3-2. Game brought to you by Performance Kings Honda. Koji Uehara is into the game to save it for the Red Sox. Look at this number here. Boston 40-0 when leading after 8 this year. That's the best in baseball. 40-0 this year in the American League when leading after 8. Uehara with 25 saves on the year and a 1.32 ERA.
This guy's not only has good stuff, but he's got a great idea about the give and take of pitching. A little bit on, a little bit off, keep the hitters off balance.
He gets Pena first, trying to keep that hitting streak alive. It's at 13 games. 0 for 3 tonight. Uehara, the 39-year-old native of Osaka, Japan. Down the left field line and a foul ball. Mentioned earlier, the most valuable player, the American League Championship Series last year. That was against Detroit. 5 games, 6 innings, no runs, and 3 saves. This year a microscopic 132.
That's what you see from Uhara here lately. Soft early, split finger. You can see it down and away from Pena, and he comes with a high fastball there. He's pitching backwards. Instead of hard early and then the breaking ball late, he goes soft early, gets you out in front, changes the eye level with the fastball.
Pulls it down the line. That's where Ortiz was playing. Pena is out, and unless this game goes extra innings, Pena's hitting streak will end at 13. Now it's Heisey. He has the ability certainly to tie this thing. 4 home runs on the year. 0 for 3 tonight. Hit the ball hard but out into right his last time. Uhara, in case you're wondering, 2 blown saves this year. The last one coming on July the 10th against the White Sox.
Watch his split finger and you watch his fastball. They come out of the same arm slot, full bore wrist. Everything looks the same to a hitter. And then it does that. Hitters look right over the throwing shoulder of the pitcher, trying to pick the ball up as it comes apparent for the first time. If your hand is full towards the plate, you see a full hand. It's usually a fastball. When it's turned slightly, that's when you see, all right, that's going to be something else. Uhara never turns it. It's always a full wrist, always a full hand. It looks like a fastball every time.
He spent 10 years as a starter in Japan before coming over to the States. In the hole to get it. Bogarts jumps and throws. Safe. Heisey legs it out, and the Reds have the tying run on. Good job by Heisey. Hang in there, make contact, put the ball in play. Good things happen.
Has him out in front. You can see Chris reach for that ball, but he hooks it into the shortstop hole, and he was motoring as soon as he made contact.
Now it's Santiago. Down a run with 1 out in the bottom of the ninth. 0 for 2 in this game. Santiago 1 for 4 lifetime against Uhara. Hit the ball right on the nose in the 7th inning against Badenhop, right into the glove of Ortiz. This is the hole that Heisey was in. In the air, shallow right, Holt, 2 out. Red Sox won their game 3-1 against the Angels on Sunday. They're trying to put back-to-back wins together for the first time since the 20th and 21st of July, if they can hang on. Cozart the batter. 0 for 3 in this game. And he's down 2 strikes.
Uehara doesn't mess around, does he? He was throwing strike after strike after strike. From 0-2 to 2-2. Pitcher spot due up next. Ryan Ludwig waits in the on-deck circle. Cozart lifetime 1 hit, 1 at bat against Uehara. Trying to keep this bottom of the 9th going. That ball spinning, and it stays foul. A little English on it there, Cowboy. Hit it off the end of the bat. Roll it down into that dirt. A lot of times that ball will come back to the line. And Ortiz moved up quickly. He was waiting for it to spin back.
Reds looking for some 9th inning magic here.
See Uehara back behind the mound. You can see him switching from fastball to split finger grip, trying to find the perfect seam, cut that baby loose.
He's ready again, but Cozart is not. As he represents the tying run at first with 2 out. He's running. Vasquez near the fence. Got it. Boston comes to town. Gets an 8th inning 2-run homer from Yoenis Cespedes. And they win the first game of this 2-game series over the Reds. The final score, Boston 3 and the Reds 2. Red Sox win it 3-2. The loser for the Reds is Jonathan Broxton. Uehara gets his 26th save. Reds Live postgame presented by Performance Kings Honda is next.